Right, what's up, people? You are live with Mizz Moodie on blogtalkradio.com. I know I've been missing for the past 2 weeks, but I felt like it would be irresponsible of me to not address the recent issues, the recent troubling issues going on in our country today. And today I have my returning guest, Jamell Henderson. Wait, let me take him off mute. All right, Jamell, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty then. So today we're talking about, the George Zimmerman verdict. And Jamell, I'm gonna give you a chance to weigh on that in a second, but I have a couple of things I wanted to address first. Now, my personal reaction to it, obviously, is probably the same as most of the people out there. I'm upset. I'm angry that in 2013, when we've made so many strides and we've come so far in this country as black people that we still gonna get shot down just for the color of our skin, and we still get judged for the color of our skin, and we still have to explain that skin pigment has nothing to do with the content of my character. Like, I don't understand. As we make so many advancements in technology and every generation is supposed to be getting more intelligent than the last, and I still have to explain that the fact that I'm black doesn't make me any different from anybody else, scientifically. I mean, everybody's going to have a different personality, but I mean, me being black has nothing to do with my personality or my intelligence or my right to live or die. But that's about that. But, and I'm going to get back to that in a minute, but I also want to address some of the reactions I've been seeing on Twitter and on Facebook from black people tearing each other down in this time where we need to lift each other up. Not just Facebook and Twitter, sorry, with the celebrities too. Because today I read something Bill Cosby said. Bill Cosby said that you can't prove that George Zimmerman was a racist. And I'm like, Bill Cosby is already known for kind of being harsh on his own people. But I'm like, this is a whole new level of harshness, Bill. Like, how can you not prove that George Zimmerman was a racist? What other reason would he have to pursue and kill this innocent teenage boy without knowing much about him? The only thing he can judge him on is appearance, right? So in that case, there had to have been some type of prejudice involved. I also seen someone say that, black people need to wake up and, stopping, they're saying that we get stereotyped because we're the ones doing the drugs and engaging in gang violence, and then everybody's getting painted with the same brush. And to that, I say, I'm not going to say we're perfect as a people, but I'm going to say that, there's black drug dealers and black gang members, but you can't say that we're all, like I'm saying, in 2013, we made a whole lot of leaps and bounds, and I'm like, a black person currently holds the highest office in the world. So how can you say that we're still on the drugs and the gang violence when we got a black president? Like, I don't understand. And before Barack Obama, we had black people in government. We had black lawyers. We had black doctors. Like, we learned this every day in school in Black History Month. That we were doing things. Like, this whole stereotype that we're all pants sagging and using excess profanity and all of that, I think that has to stop, because that's only one small group of us. That's not all of us. And I kind of feel like us continuing to say it's our fault, that it's not our fault. Furthermore, I want to say we are also not responsible for most of the crime in America either. We are only 14% of the population. How is it exactly that only 14% of the population is responsible for most of the crime? But yet, we're still the face of crime because we still allow this image to keep reproducing itself, and we're pointing the fingers at each other instead of standing together. And another thing I wanted to address also is someone else said, even though I kind of touched on this already, someone else on my Facebook newsfeed said, we don't hold any power because everybody wants to be a rapper or a basketball player or reality TV star, and we don't hold, we don't go for the high positions of power. And again, like I said, I want to reiterate, yes, we do. We're in high positions of power, but again, I kind of feel like we're not uniting as a community, because when we reach these high positions of power, we don't give back. I'm not even painting all the people that are in high positions of power with the same brush. But I'm saying not everybody, gives back to the community. Sometimes, people get that power and then, they want to rub elbows with the same people that were oppressing them. Like, say, Condoleezza Rice was Secretary of State, but she was Secretary of State for George Bush. You think she was helping the community? No. So, you know, I think we need to come together and stop pointing the finger at each other. But that is where I stand on it. Jamell, what's your stance on the issue here?
Well, first off, I appreciate you expressing your opinion to the people. I think that's great. Whether we are good, whether good, bad, or indifferent, it's important that you express your opinion. First off, I want to applaud America for actually standing up and rising up and joining hands to fight justice. Now, let's be clear. Not everybody in America is unhappy with the decision. There are people who feel that he was not guilty. But a majority of us feel that he was guilty and that he should have received some type of fine. Especially when CNN and all the other news media highlighted another African-American woman who did the same thing but didn't even shoot nobody and was sentenced to 20 years. My thing is if he didn't get off and he actually shot and killed somebody, they need to release her like the day before yesterday. That's the first.
Yeah.
Was I unhappy with the decision? Absolutely. I felt that the jurors, first of all, the justice system in America is shot. And I have to say that politically, being a political person, is because there is no fair juror selection. If there was a fair juror selection, number one, no offense to the ladies out there, but you should not have a jury that is all female. Let alone 5 of them are white and 1 is either black or Hispanic. That does not show the diversity of the country. That does not show the diversity of what the law says, that the people will be judged by the people. It does not show that. It shows favoritism, and it kind of shows the side on which, the case will lean towards, whether it's towards the state or towards the defendant. Moreover, now that everybody wants to be rising up in arms and wanting to, protest and everything, and don't get me wrong, I think that's a great thing that people are doing. However, like you mentioned earlier, so far since this happened, only 3 people that I've seen on CNN and other networks that really talked about the real issue. You see, we are always easy to rise up in arms the moment our white counterparts shoot or kill a black man. However, like in Chicago, there's been killings going across that entire city. Black killing African-American people. African-American men killing African-American men. It happens in my borough. I live in Brooklyn. It happens all the time. Deadly shootings over nothing. But guess what? Not one protest, not one rise up in arms, not one pressure toward the politicians, not one pressure toward the church. But the moment our white counterpart does it to us, it's not fair. You see, we can't go out into the territory and say we want fair and equal justice if we can't even put equal justice towards our own community. We can easily tell white people, yeah, what y'all doing is wrong, but we won't even tell on our own person who's done the crime to make our streets safe. But the moment they get caught, unfortunately, the parents are like, oh, I can't believe that's my son. He would never do such a thing. You see, all of that is being very hypocritical. And that's the problem with ourselves as African Americans. And as an African American leader, it disgusts me that we can rise up like this, but we can't even clean our own house. How dare we rise up in arms? And don't get me wrong, it's a great thing to honor Trayvon Martin. But let's not forget the other people that were shot and killed on our own streets, and we did nothing to honor them, except for those who know them, wear a big ID badge like that's supposed to honor them. If you want to honor these people, you put pressure on the politicians. You put pressure on the community. You put pressure on the church to step up. You see, this is a perfect time to expose race in America and to expose it in a way that has never been touched before. You see, our generation has an opportunity to be straight up and blatant about it. That race is happening. Being a black man is the most dangerous thing that I can do on the face of this earth right now. I am an endangered species. Not only could I have the opportunity to be shot and killed by the community, the people that I trust, but also by law enforcement. So I'm getting the danger on both sides of the spectrum. However, at least I should be able to say, you know what, despite whatever happens, my community should be able to have my back. And that's our problem. We still focus on this stop snitching rule and that we're not going to tell our own neighbor. But you see, because of that, we hurt ourselves. No wonder we can't get nowhere in our community because we are too selfish. We don't like to help each other out. And there are a few communities that do it, but guess what? They're only a small soloist to a massive choir. If you really want to make a change in our communities, everybody in the community has to rise up. Black people in our communities have to rise up. They have to put pressure on their elected officials. They have to put pressure on the church. You see, the church always like to show up and write letters and say, oh, we stand up against this. But guess what? Where were they when all this happened? I'm a member of the AME Church, the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Where were they when they needed this, when this situation happened? Where were the Baptist people? Where were the Kojic people? Where were the, Episcopalian or the Presbyterian or the Anglican or the Pentecostal people? Where were they? This is a problem. You see, and this I'm saying this very passionately because one, I'm a rising political leader, and the way I see it is, if you don't put pressure on me to get the work done, guess what? I'm going to lay back and chill, and that's what's going on with our current politicians and stuff right now. We're not putting pressure on them to get the work done. This is a perfect opportunity for us as African Americans to unite with the other counterparts, the other quote-unquote minorities, and be a majority, enact a bill, put pressure on our elected officials in Congress to enact a bill that's going to show equality and justice for all, meaning within the court system, outside on the street, wherever we go. But once again, we're too selfish. You see, other counterparts, they work together. We're the only ones that don't work together. And it pains my heart to see this. First of all, go ahead. We have to get rid of this notion that I'm not going to tell on my fellow brother, because you know what? I'd rather put somebody who's doing wrong in my community behind bars and put one and save dozens than see dozens killed just to protect one. That doesn't make no sense. We have a lot of work to do, and this is the perfect time to get it done. While everybody's out there protesting and marching, and don't get me wrong, that's a great thing, but we need to focus on home. Our house is dirty, and we need to clean it up before we go any further in marching and being united as one and making sure our voice is loud in America. We got to clean up our own house first.
Amen, amen, amen. You are reading my mind right now. I mean, that was the point I was trying to make, is that we're too busy tearing each other down to unite as people. And I like what you said about everybody else looks out for their own except for us. Like, you know how the Jewish community is a perfect example. They support their own businesses, and they don't even have to be friends or family to support each other. All they got to know is this person is from our community, so I'm supporting this person. We don't have that in our community, and that's what I'm trying to say, is that we need to stop tearing each other down and unite against all these other people that are trying to tear us down. And that's another thing that you mentioned, that is coming from both sides. It's coming from within and from out. And I'm like, at least can we unite together and at least band together and fight the forces outside instead of us fighting each other and then still at the same time trying to fight them? Because we only band together when something is wrong. And I said this on Twitter too. Shout out to anybody following me on Twitter. I said that, I was like, we're going to be mad for 5 minutes. We're going to forget about it and then go back to being selfish like we was before. And
you know what? I'm so sorry. That is exactly what's going to happen. It happened when Amadou Diallo was assaulted. It happened when Abner Louima was assaulted. It happened right here in our own backyard with the unfortunate tragedy of Amali Graham. We rise up, we raise our voices, and 5 to 10 minutes later, which is equivalent to maybe several weeks, we go back to our normal life. That is the most hypocritical and the most laziest type of protest and type of rising up for community I've ever seen and witnessed in my entire life. Could you imagine if we as a people put pressure on those who can really make a difference? If we put pressure on our politicians, if we put pressure on the artists that we buy their music, imagine if we put pressure on Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and Beyonce and all these people, letting them know, listen, we need y'all to rise up with us and put pressure on you because and if you do that, we're guaranteed to have your back. Could you imagine how strong of a force we will be if Jay-Z was to stand out and not do anything to market this cause like he did before when Occupy Wall Street was happening and he tried to make a shirt which he profited for himself and not for anybody else. Could you imagine how great it would be, how powerful we would be if that was to happen? We could shut so many things down that they will have to listen to us. You see, it happened in the past. During the time of the Civil Rights Movement, Lyndon B. Johnson and President Franklin D. Roosevelt, they couldn't do much. But you know what they said? They both said one of the similar things. You have to force me to make the move because he's just one person. And that one person has to listen to the people. So if the majority of the people, especially the African Americans, can get together and say, we want things done our way, they have no other choice but to listen because guess what? Terms expire and elections happen almost every year. So it's like you have to begin to put pressure on our own community. You know, one of the things I admire, one of my good close friends, his name is Lamone Gibson. Shout out to Lamone. He lives in Buffalo. And Buffalo has a high rate of crime. And you know what? He started an anti-violence coalition where he created shirts to give out to neighborhoods. It's like a counter snitch program where the shirt says, "You bet I told." And that speaks volumes because you know why? They don't care about whose son it is. They don't care about whose friend it is. If you're hurting the community, you're going to be put out. And that's something that we need to do and join the cause, and we need to work on that because that's the only way our streets will be safer. That's the only way our streets will be cleaner. That's the only way we'll get politicians to work for us and work with us instead of once they get in the office, they're doing their own thing.
That's definitely a positive thing going on. I'm glad you mentioned that because more people need to be doing that.
Right. And as I stated with my creed for life, change begins with one, so therefore it has to begin with me. So I'm beginning to make my moves. But everybody that's out there that's frustrated, that's sick and tired of being sick and tired, yeah, you can go and meet at Union Square. You can go to LA. You can go to Times Square. You can go to Jersey City and all these places and protest and honor King Martin. That's a great and wonderful thing, and I commend everybody that's doing it. But the real test is what happens after. That same energy that you put in raising your voice saying no justice, no peace. Are you going to use that same energy to go back to your community and make a difference? I challenge you. Those who's listening, I challenge you. I challenge you to call these people out. I challenge you to call Bishop T.D. Jakes out. I challenge you to call Creflo Dollar and all these big mega churches that we as African Americans go to. I dare you to challenge them to work with us to make sure our community is safe. I challenge you. If you want to make a difference, that's a perfect way to start. You go to door, neighbor to neighbor, and you let them know what you're trying to do. I guarantee you they will join the cause because a lot of people are a little scared, and that's okay. But it takes one brave soul to make a difference. One.
All right. And with that said, okay, I got a caller right here, so I'm going to unmute her. I already know who it is. So, Shamara, what's up? I know you've been listening all this time, so what do you have to say about the issue right now?
Well, I definitely agree with you guys about, this issue of a lack of unity in the community in terms of, like, addressing issues like this, like all this injustice and, all this injustice that's been going on. And it would be great if people... Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say it would be great if people really did continue, fighting instead of just like, okay, we're all wearing hoodies, like Jamell said, we're all wearing hoodies for like a couple days, and then in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, like something will happen, or we'll get drawn into some celebrity gossip and forget about it. Like it's an important thing for us to always have that united front. It's just not isolated incident. It keeps happening, and there's even like more incidents in the news since like this verdict that happened. Like I think there was another kid in Florida or some state that got shot because he was playing loud music, and someone. Oh,
go ahead. I was gonna say I think I heard about that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and basically he was shot because he got into like a verbal altercation with someone who owned a gun, and they were like, "Oh, like you're playing loud music." I mean, like it's not, it wasn't a property issue or anything like that. And even if it was, it's not justified. But this guy just got really angry and shot the kid. And I'm just like, Trayvon Martin is just one of so many incidents. Like we can't just, make a big deal out of this. We need to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And with the black crime, like, well, that's just the whole. We just really need to get unified. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, we really need to get unified. But yeah, go ahead, Jamell.
You know what would be so great, and I believe that Trayvon Martin's parents will be so proud. Yes, what we're doing for them, I know they're happy. But what will make them even more happier is that they see us united as a people to fight the causes of injustice. Not just only protest, but put out petitions to put pressure on our local politicians, to put pressure on our pastors and people who are in our community making money and using us for working together. Like this will make them so much happier because not only will Trayvon's life be honored, but we are working together to make sure that situations like this does not happen anymore. Mm-hmm. That will be the greatest present. That will be the greatest gift that we can give to Trayvon Martin and his parents if we really want to honor him. Because it's not about, yes, George Zimmerman killed this man, an innocent young black man. Yes, racism is real and it's happening now. But guess what? If we clean our house and we protect our stronghold, then we can be strong enough to go against those forces, and we are able to work closely with the other demographics and then be one strong, united front. But we can't be a united front if one of the pieces is broken. We have to...
You're only as strong as your weakest link. So, everybody has to unite. Anyways, I got 5 minutes left, so if anybody has any final thoughts, I think I pretty much addressed everything I wanted to say.
Well, I want to say this to Mel. Really quickly. Mark this date down. Today's date, and I want you to pay attention. 100 days from now, those who's listening, mark 100 days from today. If this movement is still going on, then we've done a great job. But if this movement hasn't ceased and has died, then my point has already been proven. Yeah.
All right, everybody listening, y'all heard that? Y'all heard that. We counted 100 days. 100 days from now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do another show 100 days from now and recap what we was talking about today because, unfortunately, as much as I want to believe we're still going to be on this 100 days from now, I don't think it's going to happen. And I know I'm sounding pessimistic. I mean, you got to believe that you can achieve things if we're going to do it. If it were up to me alone, I'd still be marching 100 days from now, but I can't do it by myself. We all have to do it together. So I'm hoping for better, but with the history that we've been going, it's not looking like that's going to happen. But I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
All right. We'll find out in 100 days.
We'll find out. Well, Jamell, thank you for coming on again and sharing your opinions with everyone listening. Thank you, everybody listening. Everybody too shy to call. I hope y'all heard everything that was going on because this is serious. And I will be back next week with a new topic. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you, Shamara, for calling in. And I'm out. Peace.